Hello, I'm Martin Fencka and welcome to the first episode of another of my Civilization 5 Vox Populi series. As usual, because this is the first episode, we'll go through all the settings and I'll show you 3 different starting locations, and it will be up to you to decide during the next 24 hours which of those locations you'll be using for this series. Before that though, first thing first, Merry Christmas everybody. I hope you are having a great time. So now, where do we start? Well, I think we'll start with the mods. So as usual, we are using the full Vox Populi package. It's the version from the 20th of December with the 23rd of December hotfix. I will leave the link in the description, so you'll be able to download it there. On top of that, I will try for the first time the more unique components for Vox Populi mod. It's the one that adds the 3rd and 4th unique component. I hope it's not gonna cause even more problems with the stability of the game. If the previous series we have to end because of a bug, but well, I wanted to try this mod for a very long time, and it's showing as a request in comments over and over again that I really should try it. It's stable, many people are using it, not causing any problems. Okay, let's do it. I'm gonna trust you guys that the mod is up to date. It will work with this version of Vox Populi, which it should. From what I read on forums, it should be compatible with this version, and we won't have too many technical problems, or at least not more technical problems than we usually have. Okay, so these are the mods. As I said, I'll leave links to all the mods in the description. And now we can check the settings and the save we're gonna be playing and everything. So let's go to setup and advanced setup. First of all, the save that we're gonna be playing is Brazil. If you watched my last video about Civ 5, that was the one where I talked about what we could play as this series. Actually, Brazil wasn't in the final selection, but from the saves that I suggested, I think it was Morocco, England, and the last one was Netherlands, I didn't really feel like too much enthusiasm from the comments. Mostly it was like, from those 3 that you suggested, I think I would go for Morocco, but we actually already, or you actually did the Morocco series, which I forgot, but yeah, you are right, we already played as Morocco, so that leaves Netherlands and England, and from those, if I have to choose, I would go with that. And yeah, when you read a comment like that, it really doesn't feel like there is too much enthusiasm. And then usually there was, if it was up to me, I would go with this or that. There were quite a few comments like this, and well, overall, I got the feeling that you want, or like the majority of you guys want non-domination game, and maybe like a rematch India, Brazil, something similar to what we did last time, hopefully something that we'll be able to finish. So I decided to go with Brazil. Last time Brazil was against us, this time we'll be playing as Brazil, and I manually selected India as our opponent. For the rest, I left this as random. Last time we had problem with Mongolia, that was completely running over everything, but the problem with that was the map settings, because with the communitas, all the city-states, or most of the city-states, start on the main continent. So there are always some city-states starting next to Mongolia, and with their unique ability, they how should I take it? They just annex them basically in no time, and they just snowball out of control right from the start. We can prevent that by selecting a different map where the city-states are not on the main continent or main continents. So with Continents Plus, that's the map that we're gonna be playing, the city-states are around the main continent, so on the islands, and it's a lot more difficult to like get enough threat, even for if we get Mongolia, so that they would be able to annex them right from the start. So this way we can leave everything random, and even if we get the Mongols, they shouldn't be able to snowball so hard right from the start. We leave it to 16 city-states appropriate for the standard size map, that the difficulty, epic game pace, blah blah blah. Everything else is just the standard settings. As for the other options, I was trying to keep everything as standard as possible. We are adding the third and fourth for the unique component mod, so I don't want to go with any like crazy map settings. I think I'll be busy enough with all the extra unique components because I have almost no experience with this mod, so I don't want to fight like the AIs learning the mod and having some unusual map settings on top of that. So I'll map and game settings actually, so I try to keep everything as standard as possible. So we are going with without actually the event system, no research agreements as usual, no ancient ruins, no tech trading, tech brokering. Everything else here is just disabling the events, quick combat and movement, raging barbarians as usual, and transparent diplomacy. At some point I want to try the randomized victories, but this is definitely not the time since we are for the first time playing with the new mod. Okay, so these are the settings that we're gonna be playing with, and now we can jump to the game. I have the 3 starting locations available. Hopefully it won't take too long to load the game. But before we start playing about the start talking about the starting locations, let's talk about Brazil. We have a bit more to talk about now with the 2 extra unique abilities. So we'll start with Carnival. When a Golden Age begins, 40% of the Golden Age points convert into gold and tourism, and cities gain 10 turns of Carnival, 25% culture, and minus 50% unhappiness from needs in cities during carnivals. So we basically want a Golden Age as often as possible, and we want the Carnival, which is like, I think, unique version of We Love the King Day for Brazil. We want to keep that up as much as possible. We don't necessarily need like long golden ages, wonders like Chichen Itza, things like that. Probably not what we want, because we get the bonus when the golden age begins, and then basically want to begin as many golden ages as possible. So if we get like very long golden ages, that could in the end mean that we won't be able to get like enough golden ages to like get the maximum out of the unique ability. So we'll see how often we can get the golden ages, and then we'll decide if we want to make them a little bit longer or not. But the most important thing is get them as often as possible, because the amount of gold and tourism that we can get from in the late game is absolutely insane. And even early, the gold is huge. Will help us to develop our cities much faster. So that's the unique ability. And then we have, where do we start? Let's start with the Brazilwood Camp, the unique tile improvement. Brazilwood Camp can only be built on jungle or forest tiles, so I kept this in mind as I was selecting the starting locations. I always made sure that we had at least some forest and jungles so we can use the unique tile improvement. Must be adjacent to a luxury resource and cannot be built adjacent to another Brazilwood Camp. It provides additional yields and 1 copy of the Brazilwood resource. So we want to get to the monopoly on Brazilwood as soon as possible. Actually, not sure what it is, but I think it's gonna be quite useful. I actually have to check what's the monopoly. And the rest of the text, that's just the description of Brazil, what Brazilwood actually is. It has pretty decent yields that are going up as we are researching tags, but mostly those tags are quite late game: radio, acoustics, physics. It's adding culture, but yeah, with these tags, what's the earliest one? Like physics is the earliest one, and we are talking like what, medieval era, late medieval, early Renaissance, something like that. So it's gonna take a while to actually get the extra yields up. Then we have a unique building. This one is from the 3rd, 4th unique component. It's one of them. Sambadrome, which is a replacement for Opera House. Unique show it here. Unique replacement for Opera House. 10% culture in the city. 10% of the culture created by the city counts as Golden Age points per turn. That's huge. We all try to, again, go with fewer cities. Not sure how many, but we definitely won't be going wide, which means most of the yields will be focused in like our core cities. We'll try to build them as tall as possible and increase the yields in every city as much as we can. So 10% of a yield transformed into another yield is huge. And into Golden Age points, definitely something we want to get as soon as possible so that we can get the procs from starting Golden Ages as much as we can. 33% of great musicians points in the city, so this will allow us to spam great musicians in the late game, or get more musicians in the late game if we still need more tourism. Or more great works. If you can't get, if you don't need the tourism, you always can get the great works. And all musicians guild at +1 gold. Not much there. Contains a slot for great work of music and starts 10 turns of carnival when completed. That's actually quite important. So overall, works perfectly with everything that we want to do as Brazil, and it will be quite a high priority getting to that. Then we have, and now we are getting into trouble with pronunciation. I have no idea how to pronounce these words. Bandeirantes, something. I don't know. I'll just call them Explorer and avoid the words that I can't pronounce. So our unique explorer generates gold culture signs whenever you reveal a tile with this unit, can construct ports, quarries, mines, and Brazilwood camps in owned territory. So probably don't want to explore too much early. Make sure that we have a significant part of the map unexplored for when these guys come into play, and then we want to send them out. We probably want to have like 2 of them at least, and we want to send them out to explore as much as possible. They can be pretty strong if you are going for more like a domination focused game, not necessarily domination victory, but for games where you are fighting, they are pretty strong. And if you get them early, they are really broken when you are using ancient ruins and you get the upgrades for a scout early, and you get this guy like 2 eras before he should be available, then he's completely broken. But that's not what's gonna happen here. We just want to take advantage of the extra yields we can get from them, so we'll play like appropriately. So that's that. And then we have the, I think this is pronounced Prasinha, which is like late game unique unit. That's the second unique component from the unique component patch. This one replaces infantry. And Prasinha are much faster and start with amphibious and DFP's promotions. I'll have to check the DFP's promotions. It's also stronger in foreign lands and earns tourism when it defeats an enemy unit. Again, this is a unit for more like a domination game. I'm not sure we're gonna be using it because it basically gets stronger the farther away from the capital they are. I think it's 1% extra strength per tile in between the capital and the unit. So if you want to really take advantage of these guys, you have to operate far, far away from your territory, which is most likely not what we're gonna do in this game. Again, I would like to focus on more like a pacifist game. Can't say that we won't be fighting at all, but it's gonna be similar to what we did with India. We'll more focus on ourselves, and we'll try to control the world more through diplomacy than aggression. Although I might be a bit more aggressive in this game than I was with India, where we are completely pacifist. Okay, so that's our unique abilities, units, buildings, everything. Now we can jump into the game, and first of all, let me check. I hope this is the right spelling, and I want to check the FPS. Combat strength against all ranged attacks plus 25%. That's nice. All ranged attacks 25% hit points. Yeah, sure, I'll take it. all ranged attacks. So is it also city bombardment? It should be. It's not bad. And then we have expeditionary force. Actually, yeah, this is the strength increase I was already talking about. Here, glorious banner. Unit gains tourism towards all civilizations on kill. Yeah, don't think we're gonna need that though. And it's a weird ability, gaining tourism on kills. Like when you are killing, I don't know, it depends on how much tourism it is. During defensive wars, this could give you something. But this unit is made to fight like away from your territory. So that means games where you are aggressive, and in those games you probably are not going for like culture victory. So I don't know. I'm not really sure about this unit. It's like doesn't make sense to me what the idea was. There are like two parts of these units that go like directly against each other. But well, we'll see what we can do with them. They come into play quite late, so most likely it doesn't even matter that much. Fine. Now, the starting locations. This is the first one. And I'll show you all that I know. So I moved our starting units before I decided to keep the starting location. So I checked this tile. This would be the most likely city location. That's why I moved the settler that way, and it actually improved this starting location a lot because there is now chocolate that we can start next to, which gives us quite a few jungles, hill, river start. There is potential to get like horses, cattle, things like that. We can get bananas. We have more than enough room for Brazil wood. We can get Brazil wood on these 3 tiles. Then we can get Brazil wood here. And potentially there could be some more luxuries around. There will be, so most likely. So our other cities, when we start them, should also be able to get some Brazil wood camps. So overall, this is quite decent. And I think I moved this way as well. So there's actually, I'm not sure if I moved here or here before, but there is a sea. Yeah, it is a sea. It's not a lake. Lake would have different yields. So there is potential to go for a coastal capital, probably here, but it would be significantly weaker start, and I think I'm not willing to sacrifice a starting location like this in exchange for a coastal capital. So I think I would start here, but there is the potential. Yeah, this one is better. It would just be too far. Maybe if the furs were here or here, doesn't matter, right next to the capital, basically, then I would consider it. I like starting on the coast when I can. And I like really hate starting 1 or 2 tiles away from the coast. It's just for some reason really getting on my nerves when I'm so close and I can't take advantage of it, or I'm not taking advantage of it. But in this case, I think this is the better starting location. So that's number 1. Then number 2. Oh, and by the way, I tried to choose locations that are quite decent. Once again, it's the first time I'm gonna be playing with the with another mod, with a new mod, so I don't want to have like crappy starting locations where I can't really do or like work properly with the tools that we have available. Okay, in this case, we have access to sugar and chocolate. Starting location, I was thinking about this hill. But so let's move the explorer. There are no forests or jungles to the north, surprisingly. I thought when I saw this starting location for the first time that we will be in the middle of a huge jungle, but it ends only like 1 tile to the north of the city. I think we want to stay here. This gives us Jungle Hill River Start. next to sugar, we'll be able to get Brazilwood Camp here, here, and here. Then we will be able to get another one here and probably on this tile. So that's a lot. We have bananas in range. Actually, really? They changed it again. I thought bananas. There was somewhere else that we had to research wheel, I think, to get bananas. Oh, but now we can see them right from the start, so we know that we will have them in the range of the capital. Overall, I think this is the strongest location, especially because we are Brazil. So I think this would be my choice. Usually I'm when I'm like deciding on starting locations, I don't always like the strongest one the most, but in this case I think here I would feel most comfortable, let's put it this way. Oh, that's this one, and then the third one. This one is probably the most difficult one, but when I'm saying which location would be my choice, just don't let that affect your decision. The series is about you having fun. Actually, it's about both of us, you and me as well, having fun. But it's more important for me to go with the options that would be like more interesting for you guys to play. So if you choose this one, which is definitely the most difficult one for Brazil, I will happily go with it and see how we can handle it. Okay, so let's move here. I think this is where I would start the capital. And I think I moved the Pathfinder this way to get vision. Now, with the sea, I actually forgot that we have the access to sea here. In this case, I may actually change my mind and go... Where do we start? Here. So I would go most likely here, because that would allow us to get a Brazilwood Camp on this tile. That's the thing about the Brazilwood camps, they have to be next to a luxury. So up here, actually, wait, up here we can get 2 Brazilwood camps. Somehow I completely missed the amber here. 1, 2, 3. We would have the second olives in the range. No. I think this is better starting location. Yeah, we can get 2 Brazilwood camps. Very nice yields right from the start. We are on a hill next to a mountain. We can work with that. We don't have a river here. And honestly, this here looks like a Lake of Victoria. That would completely change this starting location. And because I'm really curious, I'm actually gonna play 1 turn. I want the answer to that because I think that's quite an important thing for the decision that we need to make. No, it's not Lake of Victoria. It's just a swamp. Because if we had one that is this close, we would be able to start right next to it, basically, if it was here. Then this location would be completely broken, and I think I would just discard it and go for another one. Okay, fine. So we have the answer. And, well, I think that's it for this episode. Now it's up to you guys. As I said, you have 24 hours since this episode is released to decide which starting location you want to see me playing. And with the release of the next episode, so episode number 2, I'll make all 3 of these starting locations available for you if you want to play with me. And I think, yeah, that's all for this episode. So I hope that you liked it. I hope that you're going to join me next time again. And until then, have a good time. Bye-bye.